Welcome people, welcome to the tomb of illumination. Everything's flat earth here. It's the whole description, the physics, the geometry, all the science involved with understanding the flat earth, what you've never been taught. So this is the place to come. It's the only place you'll find the whole working system, how and why it works. And it's all based on a godly system. Unseen, just like the magnetic field, unseen. We have a place of inaccessibility, which is called the Arctic Centre. We can't get to it. We have the magic involved with the tropical gap, the gap between the two counter rotations. Some people might understand the magic involved with what goes on between the counter rotations, what they call the wormhole. It's basically the black hole, or the dielectric in what we know in science. It's a magical realm, but science shies you away from this, understanding this, because the people at the top who control all the technology and everything, they know the secrets in these systems. So telling you that an earth ball is spinning around the sun is taking you away from the dual system, the counter forces, the duality of these opposing rotations you can see in the night sky if you film towards the tropical celestial gap. You will see the two star rotations, counter forces, the counter rotations. Well, that tropical divine gap is the most divine thing in our existence. And I try to express all this in our earthly creation. But anyway, that aside, I don't know why I went off on that track, but anyway, this video is about understanding the expansion of the toroidal field that flows over Earth. Understanding, trying to get a grip on why there is a Mercator map and why there is a Gleason map. What's the difference and why are they associated? And they are associated. They go hand in hand. But you have to understand the system. You have to understand Earth is the plane of inertia, fixed and stationary, because it's been created from the place of rest, stillness, peace. And what's associated with that? Meditation. The human brain has to go there too, to get to a special place. Well, Earth is a special place, and it's been created from that place of rest, which is the black hole. There's nothing going on the black hole. That's why Earth is fixed and stationary. But all the action, the counter forces, are around its perimeter, which is the flowing toroidal field, the magnetic field of Earth. And the magnetic field of Earth is hidden in the wind. So the wind needs hot and cold temperatures to drive the wind, seeking out each other, forever moving. If you had a complete worldly ice age, then the world wouldn't work. Nothing would exist. There'd be no movement. There's no flow, no wind. What would drive the winds if there's just all the one temperature, just cold? Our whole existence is in a dual system. You need the hot and cold. So we have South Pole, North Pole, positive, negative, day, night, woman, man. And while we have a book called the Bible, B-I, gap, B-U-L-L. B-U-L-L basically means expansion, expanding on a lot of things. We expand out from the centre north. Your divine awakening, you expand in your knowledge. That can refer to a lot of things, but you got by being dual, a dual system. And Earth is a dual system. We're in a duality. We have a positive and a negative force. We have a heaven and a hell. What's between heaven and hell? The flat plane of inertia, Earth. Earth consists of heaven and hell. So this is where you have choices. You can dwell in a heavenly state of consciousness, or you can dwell in a hell state of consciousness. Heaven's up here, up your mountain in Jerusalem, or you can hang out down there at the dung gate, your sacrum, in your hell. And this is what raising your Kundalini is, or raising your Christ. It comes up out of hell, up to your mountain. This is what you have to do. Raise it up to a state of consciousness where you understand all truth and know the lies. I know the lies. I understand the truth and I know the way. This is why I explain it all in my videos. So, that's the big preamble. Now we're going to talk about the expansion, the bull. Understanding a Gleason map. Look, all the arcs of longitude expanding out from the centre. These globe earthers, they're just in a la-la land, a state of darkness consciously. They're always going over this, saying it's not true because the continents are all distorted. Well, they're only distorted to match the arcs of longitude. They have to be distorted. You follow the arcs of longitude, you still get your GPS points in there if it's drawn properly, if you follow your arcs of longitude. So that's one way of looking at the Earth. But at the same time, you have to understand the Mercator map, and I'll show you that in a minute. Because no matter where you are from north to south, is all relative to the observer, to you. So every latitude is only relative to the person on that latitude. This is why Einstein and his cronies came up with the term, or the word relativity, because it's all relative to you. And general relativity is a curvilinear coordinate system. So the globe, that's all the globe is. It's a coordinate system. So you can have the globe there, you can have your Mercator map, Gleason map there, and you can have your Mercator map there. They all go together. If you want your coordinate system, that is over there, they've got it sussed, haven't they? Just because they've sussed out a coordinate system doesn't mean you have to be dwelling in dodo land and think you live on a spinning ball flying around the sun. If you're on one spinning ball flying around the sun, they're obviously trying to hide the dual system from you. And the magic that happens between that dual system, the dual rotations, the star trail rotations, only those with cameras will understand what I'm talking about. If you can do star trail photography and time lapse. Time lapse will show you what's happening with the star or star tracker in the southern hemisphere, drifting west, but we can actually see that with our eyes. Everything's drifting west, but you need a camera to spot these star trails, which is circular. It's forever like this on your arc of horizon, your north to south horizon. It's forever going like that. But another camera, or if you didn't have that camera, you'd notice they're all drifting this way. So how can they all be staying there at the same time as they're all drifting that way? Well, check out my earlier videos. So here we have it, guys. There's the Gleason map. Every latitude, if you're on it, it's all relative to you. From there to there is all relative to you. This person back here, he's shrunk. That's all relative to him. So this is another way of looking at it. As you move from the centre north, this is the event horizon science calls it, because we can't get out of our earthly realm. We can't get into this zone. This is creation back here, above the Arctic, believe it or not. We cannot get right into the centre here. We don't know how big that is. That could be infinity there. No man has been there. Despite what they tell you, it's called a place of inaccessibility for a reason. It's right in the centre. You could say it was Mount Meru, whatever they want to call it. And then realise you've got the Luminosov Ridge. And ancient writings tell us that the ridge broke off and fell into the sea. This could be hundreds of thousands of years ago. So one day, maybe things will shift and that will rise back up out of the ocean. Then it's probably when we'll all be illuminated again. Because it's all related to the pineal gland of man coming out of water. Check out my earlier videos. So this is what's happening to man as he moves from the centre north out to the south. He expands in the ether. Everything expands in the ether. Except Earth itself, because Earth is fixed and stationary. That is written, isn't it?